roll.
Hello, Marvin Pierce, dog teacher. 6 o'clock Thursday evening, so we're gonna talk about dogs. It's I don't know, it's like 100 degrees outside right now. I guess pretty hot. I've been laid up a lot with my knee, and so I was out this morning till 12:30 or so, 1 o'clock, and I finally came in the house and lazed around for a while and propped my leg up. Then I went back out and goofed off for a little bit, and I've been getting in the kennels, fooling around with the dogs a little bit, cleaning kennels and helping the gals up there. For me, I sure miss it, and I've been watching Bianca work dogs and do lessons and stuff, and coaching her. It's on the backside there, Brett, in that center. And it's really hard to stand and watch somebody else do something for me. I've never been very good at that. Normally, I just do it myself, and so this makes it easier for me not to get in the middle of it. And I think it helps Bianca a lot, too, because she actually gets to do it, and I just get to coach her. So for me, that's what it's about, is teaching her to be a great dog trainer, and she's getting there pretty fast. So, but I feel it's because I say, like, I just threw her to the wolves, once she got started, and I just started letting her train dogs. And I always feel that a lot of times making a mistake, you learn a lot from a mistake. And people talk about being lucky. I think luck, sometimes you pay for luck, with dedication and determination. So for me, when you get somebody that's determined to be a dog trainer or a airline pilot or a rodeo person or whatever, the real challenge just comes when you run into an obstacle that you don't know how to get over or through or around it. And I feel that the way you handle that's what determines how good you're going to be at what you do. I was down at physical therapist today, and we was talking about how the physical therapist gets to be so good at what they do, because I've had two different ones, and I felt the one was a whole lot better for what I needed than the other one was. And we were talking about it, and he's like, well, it's like you, the first dog you ever trained. He said he probably didn't turn out to be a real good dog. I said, actually, he turned out to be a great dog. But I feel it's because of my determination. Back then, that was like in 93, 94. I bought me a book, and that's where I started. I had a lady, she helped me for a couple of weeks. And then I just took it over myself with that book, and I ended up making a great bird dog. And I hunted it a little bit. I wasn't much on hunting birds, but I hunted him a little bit just so I could go play with him. But the thing is, for me, like I said, is I followed that book, and I feel that's one of the things that hurts some people sometimes, is a person has a program that's working pretty well for them, and they go see somebody who's a lot better, then they want to switch their whole program. People ask me all the time, where did you learn to train dogs? Right here. It's pretty much on the farm. I bought videos, and I flew around the country and drove to Missouri, Texas, Kansas, Montana, California, Washington, wherever I could go find somebody that would work a dog for me. I went there and tried to learn. So I get people talking about having to drive a mile out here or an hour out here to my house to train on a dog. To me, that's no excuse. I tell people most of the time they could not drink all their $7 mochas and drink $1 McDonald's coffee for a week, and they can afford to pay for their lessons and their travel. So I don't accept those excuses a lot. People can have whatever excuse they want, but still, to me, it's determination and dedication for what you want. Do we got any questions, Brett?
Yeah, Marvin.
All right, well, we're going to talk about what you should expect from a dog trainer. Do we have anybody following us on there?
Yeah, we have about 10 people on here.
We're going to talk about what to expect from a dog trainer. I get people sometimes that wants to drop their dog off, pick their dog up trained, and it just doesn't work that way. I feel to some degrees it's different with, I shouldn't even say it's different with stock dogs versus obedient dogs, because of the fact that any dog, if you don't learn how to work with them, they could take advantage of you. Not that they will, because every once in a while a person just gets a dog and it's good from the day it's born until it dies. Not very often. Majority of the time you got something to do with that training to make that dog the way it is. And I feel that for me it's fun to work with the people. I enjoy working with people. I enjoy working with dogs. And sometimes people, I think I hurt their feelings, and I don't have a safe room for them up here. So sometimes I think people go home and are really aggravated, and maybe they don't come back. I'm not sure. I can't keep up with everybody that comes and goes here, but here recently we had a kid here for him and his wife, girlfriend, whichever, for a lesson, and they've been here I don't know how many times for classes and lessons, and their dog was really good for me, but they didn't mind him so well. And the thing that gets me is it's because of them, not me or not the dog. I mean, the dog just doesn't understand you. They don't know if you're serious. It's like for me, if you bitch somebody out and you're all serious about it, and then the next time you want to bitch somebody out and laugh about it, they don't know for sure if you're being serious or if you're not. You know, they think you're just having fun joking with them. I feel dogs could be the same way. If you just change your attitude all the time with a dog, they don't know whether they're good or bad or right or wrong. So I think for the trainers, and I insist on it here, if you want to bring me a dog for 3 weeks for board and train, and you don't want to come take lessons, I won't work with your dog. I don't feel there's any reason for it. Majority of the time, dogs come here and they're a little bit spoiled, or they're a lot spoiled, whichever the case may be. But it's because of the owner is why they're that way. And then if we can't fix the owner, then we're not going to do much good fixing the dog.
Got a question if you're ready for it.
Okay.
Angie said, "Hi Marvin, we are now owners of a purebred chocolate lab retriever. He is 2 months old. What is your best recommendation in potty training?"
Who's this?
Angie.
Angie, I'm not the best person to ask that question because my dog sleeps out in the kennel. But, you know, there's so many people out there got different opinions on training dogs, potty training dogs. I feel one mistake people have with potty training dogs is they free feed them and they free water them all the time, and they don't take them outside enough. For me, if I was going to potty train a dog, I'd probably have them in a smaller crate. I'd take them outside to go to the bathroom, and when they did, I'd tell them they was good. I'd take them out after they ate, after they drank, tell them how good they were, and then some dogs, depending on how hyper they are, if you take them outside after they eat or drink, they won't go to the bathroom. They just run around and play and bounce around until you bring them back in the house. Then 10 minutes later, when they settle down, they go to the bathroom. So if I took them out and they didn't go to the bathroom, I'd probably bring them back in. I might be able to bring them back in and put them in a crate for a while and let them settle down and then take them back out again and go to the bathroom. I hear all the people talk about their dogs ring bells on doors and stuff, go to the bathroom. I'm not sure. But that for me, that's what I would do. I wouldn't just let them eat and drink all the time.
And then she also asked, what is the best way to discipline if he does potty in the house?
You know, that's, for me, I don't know. I still feel that's kind of the human error there because you didn't keep control of your puppy. And once you let them start going to the bathroom in your house, it makes it bad. I remember my dogs, my cow dogs, I hauled in the back of my dualies, and I'd haul them from here to Montana and stuff, you know. I'd have them chained, always had them tied in the back of my truck or in dog boxes. And normally, if I was going that far, I'd have them in a dog box. But running around here, cowboy and catching cows, I'd let somebody else jump their dogs in the back of my truck to go get cows. And their dogs would pee in the back of my truck. Then my dogs would start trying to do it because all my male dogs were usually stud dogs. And for me, whenever they would do that, then when I got my dogs out, I'd spray my truck bed with WD-40 just to get rid of that scent. But if you don't get rid of the scent in the house and the carpet or whatever, it makes it hard for them dogs to learn to go outside. So I'm probably not the best trainer on house-breaking dogs. So you got anything else?
That's it right now.
So we're going to talk about feeding dogs a little bit tonight, which always gets me in trouble, especially when Daria's here with me. It gets me in trouble with what brand of dog food, what type of dog food to feed dogs. I'm back to feeding black gold. I got 2 labs now, and I got a border collie. I feed them all the same dog food, black gold, black bag, and I've never had issues with that dog food in 10 or 15 years. I learned something. I talked to a dog food manufacturer here recently, and because some dog food has byproducts in it, and people think that's terrible, you know. And this guy I talked to, he said that their dog food has better byproduct in it for dog food than bologna and hot dogs is made out of. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you use for byproduct. So I think that's overrated with people. But, you know, we get dogs in here that weigh 75 pounds that should weigh 50. And quite often, too. I mean, I'm surprised at how many dogs we get in here that way. And we get dogs in here that weigh 100, 110 pounds that should weigh 75 or 80. I mean, it's pretty bad sometimes. and not knock the people who do that because of the fact that it's not hard to do. I mean, some dogs are like me. I could look at food and gain weight. I'm sure some dogs are that way, but I feel that sometimes people come here and I ask them how much dog food they feed. And they're like, oh, 1 cup of morning, 1 at night. And then I dump their dog food out of their bin into mine, and I'm like, holy crap, it's a quart jar in there. Well, that's a cup to them. And a cup actually is a pretty small, measuring cup is pretty small. So some people feed their dogs the right amount of dog food, but then they feed them 8 dog bones, or biscuits or whatever you want to call them, or they feed them part of their cheeseburgers. And if you figure those dogs in their weight, sometimes they don't need a whole lot of food. And then how much exercise do they get really matters too. And we teach dogs here to run on treadmills for people because some people have a higher energy dog and they don't have high energy themselves, or their work life doesn't let them, especially in the wintertime. For me up here, I'll run a dog on a treadmill while I sit there and drink coffee, and them dogs will learn to go get on a treadmill and wait to run because they like it. So for me, when it comes to feeding dogs, I feel that people really have to watch. I remember I free-fed my dogs for a long time years ago because I worked them every day and worked them hard. And they ate what they wanted. None of them got overweight. None of them were poor. So sometimes dogs regulate themselves when it comes to that too. So, but I feel that if people would, for me, it's pretty simple. People ask me, does my dog look overweight? Yep, he does. And some people they ask, no, they look fine. And I'm just going to tell the truth. If you don't want the truth, don't ask. So, then spoiling dogs. 90% of the dogs we get here are spoiled. It's from the humans that spoil them. I feel you can spoil dogs and kids if they are obedient. I mean, if you got a kid that respects you, you can do a lot for them. I always tell people, my daughter and son, whenever they grew up, they got 16, I could have bought both of them a brand new truck and they'd have still have it. They would have took care of it. Where some kids, you buy them a new, well, they'd want a Porsche, but some kids, they'd tear it up and then they'd come to you to get money to fix it. If you didn't give it to them, you ain't careful, they'd steal what you had and sell it to get their car fixed. So dogs are the same way. If you spoil a dog rotten and you're not the leader, they'll take advantage of you majority of the time. Not all dogs. Like I said, some dogs are just born perfect and stay that way. But I feel that people they don't want to hurt their dog's feelings. That's why they spoil them so bad. And whenever you get into that situation, it's not easy to win. And normally when they come here, this morning I seen we've got a dog up here, I don't know what he is, 8-10 months old probably. I don't even know the breed of him, but I seen Chris up here this morning, went to get that dog by the collar, and that dog I hollered at Chris about the time he tried to grab that dog by the collar, and he was going to take him and put him in his kennel. And then I hollered at him, and that dog snapped at him about the same time, but it's because that dog didn't want pulled by a collar. And that's a big deal for them dogs. That's me. Normally, I always have a slip rope on and a leash, and a dog like that I'll just put a slip leash on him and lead him back to his kennel or whatever. And then I'll teach him to let me handle him by his collar. But for me to handle him by his collar, it'll be in a training session. That's a good session. Same thing if you try to put a dog in a kennel or a crate or load him in the back of a truck. If you're not careful and you grab them by the collar, they'll try to bite you just because of the fact that you're trying to force them to do something they don't want to do. You're not training them to do it. So for me, that's a huge problem with dogs is people try to make them do things. And sometimes it just doesn't work out very well.
Ollie asked a question if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Ollie said, do you have any advice for dogs that eat their food super quickly? We have a puzzle bowl, but he still wolfs his food down as fast as he can. Hi from Django's owners.
Django's owner? The dog we have up here in the kennel. My dog's my two labs, Roxy and Mari, they'll eat their dog food before it hits the floor just about if you pour it out of a can. So, I don't know. I don't pay much mind to it, People pick on me sometimes when we're eating because I'll just eat my dinner and everybody will be talking and I'll be done and everybody's eating. I don't know. Dogs are the same way. If they're not getting sick, I don't worry about it much. But for me, like with Mari up here a while back, her and Roxy, they made me mad, my two dogs. So, and then I had another dog here. I think we call him Big Fenway. that he was up here at one time, and he was real food aggressive. So with him, if I'm not mistaken, now it could have been a different dog, but whatever dog it was a big yellow lab. And my feed room was in one area like it is now, and my kennels were in another one. And I would have him to come in my kennels with me and get a bite of his dog food in the feed room, and I'd tell him to leave, and he would have to go walk around the kennels. Then I'd call him back and let him get another bite of dog food. And I don't know if it ever slowed him down or not, but it slowed him down while I was here. Roxy and Mari, it's the same thing with them. I'll tell them to set, and then I'll tell them get a bite, and they'll get a bite, and I'll tell them to set, and they had to go set back down. For me, I don't know, it's kind of good training on them, and it slows their eating down too. They eat it as quickly, but they can only eat it one bite at a time, and then they got to go sit down and wait till I tell them come get another bite. So, you know, it's something I've never done. I know other people that they'll put big rocks in the dog pan. And that way the dogs can't eat their food so fast. You don't want to put little rocks, of course, because most dogs will probably eat them too. But like I said, I've never tried it because I was always afraid my dog would eat the rock. So, you got any more questions?
Nope.
It's going to be another short night, man.
Okay.
How many people's on here?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Everybody, well, I was going to say they're not too hot because they're probably all inside the air conditioner on.
Or they're by the water or something.
Yeah, in the pool.
Yeah.
So, well, for me, I think we'll touch a little bit on loading dogs in vehicles tonight. A lot of the dogs that come here, the people can't load them in the vehicle. And it's the dogs is here for board and train. Normally when they leave, whenever they walk out, I could load them in the vehicle. As long as it ain't up some big old jacked up truck, but I can load them in the vehicle. And the people are amazed at it, but it's because we load them on barrels and stuff here, and we put a word to it, you know, the dog understands it. A lot of times people try to bribe their dogs into the cars, and they a lot of dogs, it starts out with jumping their front feet in, and then people pick them up and put their back feet in. So you've trained them not to jump in your car, only put their front feet in. So it starts from there, and it makes it harder. All right, Brett. We don't have no questions. I think we're going to bail off here, man.
Okay.
So we'll be back next Thursday, 6 o'clock. Y'all think up some questions and jump on here, and we'll talk dogs. Y'all have a good evening and try to stay cool.